Curtis with Team Hero. I decided to try to make something out with Lynx. This is just a more or less monster match, essentially. I wanted to try the mechanic, and I figured that with the Cyberse stuff, I would try to throw some agents with it. More or less just Venus and the Shine Balls. Make it more of a beatdown deck. It's not really much, but then again, we don't really have much for Lynx either. I could have just put it in like Lightsworn or something else, but I wanted to try to be something interesting with it. And surprisingly enough, it's not as slow as I thought it would be. I thought that Link format would be much slower than it is, but I definitely feel like there's a lot of combos. The boards aren't as big, but you're still doing a lot to get there. But yeah, this is about it. I'm gonna start it. There are a few things with this deck. Essentially you're playing like 6 copies of each card, is what it feels like, instead of 3. It's pretty cool. Let's try it out. So we're starting off with 3 Venus. Venus, you really need for like the Link for the Spider, you really need a normal monster. So this helps out because essentially you're playing 6 Venuses in this deck, and you're also playing 6 Shine Balls. And that sounds really bricky, but you actually usually need at least one in your hand to get your plays extended further. And it's really nice because it can really make the board. The Venus is just kind of, it's essentially 4 monsters for Link, which is kind of insane at times. Plus it's rank 3, so if you need it for rank 3 plays, it's there. I'm playing 3 Draconet.
It's that other Venus.
Yeah, this is the other Venus. If someone's a Cyberse monster, level 2 or lower from your normal monster from your hand or deck. So essentially it's another Venus. It's not as good as Venus because Venus can do it more than once, but it's still another option. It's really cool. Plus it's a Cyberse monster, so it can help you make things like the Honeycomb, or the Honeybot, sorry. But it's really cool. It's essentially you're playing 6 Venuses almost.
Honeybot is trash.
Yeah, it is trash, but it does help you get to extend some plays on the board at times, which is pretty nice. I'm trying this at 3. I was trying it at 2. I realized I didn't see it enough. At first, I thought this card was awful, but once I realized that I had a bunch of dead cards, I was able to start looping like dead Seraph Knights or like dead Shine Balls into other Cyberse monsters to get my plays extended further. And sometimes it can also help you set up like a Brilliant Fusion. You can send one of these to the grave. So if you need 2 Cyberse monsters, you can summon this and then tribute another monster, and then summon back the one you sent from the grave. So that's kind of cool too. Some gimmick with that.
Doesn't Brilliant Fusion actually have to be a light monster?
It is a light monster.
Oh, it looked like an Earth from here.
Yeah, no. This is the only Cyberse I think we've gotten so far that is light.
It's kind of really good then.
This is another card I'm messing around with. It's Cyber Dragon, but it's also Twin Twister. I was playing it at 2, but then I never saw it. Now I'm playing at 3. Sometimes I see it too often. I think I'm putting it back to 2. Essentially, it's just another free monster. It's generic removal. It's free Link fodder. It's another Cyberse monster you can summon. It's essentially you're down until you get better cards. It's just another name, but it is helpful still. And then for right now, time being, 3 Gofu. You could easily cut this down to 2. Like I said, this is conflicting at times, but other times it'd be amazing, and other times it would be conflicting with this card. Obviously, Gofu is a much better option, but the downside is not a Cyberse monster. But it does give you the free normal tokens that you need, so there's that as well. The Gofu is amazing, and I would not expect it to be here as long as we should hope so. And then for the Army of Vanillas, we play 3 and 3. I don't know why, but I really like the artwork. As bland and boring as he looks, he's really, there's something satisfying about him. He's very interesting, but he's got 2K, which is pretty insane. I didn't realize that until recently. But he doesn't have much use other than the fact that he's there to summon the other Link monster, the Spider, and you also need him for essentially the other Venus. It sucks to draw more than like 1 or 2, but it's nice to have at least 1, that way you can extend your play. In theory, you'd think that having 6 Vanillas would be terrible, especially when they're all level 2, but you have to, sadly. Then, just to protect the board a little bit, I'm playing 2 Vex Failures, 2 Ghost Ogres, and a Maxi. This seems a little excessive at first, but whenever your board ends up with just being like Decode Talker, I can't remember. But if it's all you have is him, then it's really bad. but it's nice to have like Solemn Strikes or some sort of backup plan to protect him, because if they can't answer that monster, then it becomes a problem, because your board's probably not going to be just him. It's probably going to be like a Gachi and a bunch of other monsters to make like the board fairly large and annoying. And the Honey Bot will also protect a lot of the monsters. So that is that for the monsters. That's for the hand traps. I mean, sorry. There are two other monsters to play. That's because I'm playing the Brilliant Engine. I was thinking about cutting it, the Trick Clown. But I thought to myself, if I cut the Trick Clowns, it's one less free resource. Because I was gonna use it and start using this instead. Since I had other light targets, but like this is just so much better, in my opinion, because it's a free monster for a link. And then Pterodonix for the Gem Knight. And then onto the spells. I'm playing 3 Brilliant Fusions. I don't expect this card to be here that long, honestly. I would say maybe next list might be hit. I could be wrong. It could go completely over the list. I just feel like it's really strong. It's not... Now, there are times we can't use it, because it's very situational times if you can't make the extra monster immediately. But most of the time it's just free advantage, free resource, and it's essentially just another free monster. And once Pterodonix is dead, you just turn Pterodonix into another link. It's kind of dumb. Playing 2 Twin Twister. I feel like Twin Twister is still very good. I feel like in a deck like this, I feel like if you're going second, you really need to get rid of what they have, because you're very fragile. It's very, I guess, 1 or 2 card combo based, and you really, really, really need this to go off. So this helps if you're going forced to go second instead of first. And then to add that, I'm playing 1 Regeki, 1 Dark Hole. I really don't want to go second as often in this deck. I mean, you can go second, that's why I have this here, but I would rather go first so I can have my plays less interrupted. Now, it's not to say that it won't, just because you're going first, you'll be able to create the board. There's obviously going to be some sort of disruption, but the least amount of disruption or the least amount of problems on the board, the better. But 1 upstart, still upstart. This deck's kind of slowish, so it's nice to be able to push through that 1 extra card. 1 Soul Charge. You burn through a lot of resources, honestly. The Soul Charge is kind of there to keep you going late game, because you definitely do burn through your stuff very quickly. And then I play 2 strikes and 1 warning just to protect the board, because it's kind of break my board kind of thing, which isn't as good now, but it's sadly that's all I can really think of for this right now. The deck's pretty fun, honestly. I enjoy it. It's fairly consistent for what it is. It's just a good way to test out links. It's pretty entertaining.
The way it looks so far, though, you do not want to make it into late game to even have to do that Soul Charge, because
no.
At least when we were playtesting, it looked like once you get turn 5, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, if you're getting it that late, there's a fair chance you're not going to win, unless you're both playing decks that are fairly bad late game.
Which we were.
But the Soul Charge itself is still good, because like even like going second or something, if you can make a board and they use all the resources to break that board, and then you Soul Charge it all back next turn, it still becomes a problem. But yeah, but these are the last 3 cards of the deck. It's 40 cards, 2 strikes, 1 warning. Like I said, there's a lot of changes made to this deck. I would love for you guys to mess around with it and see what else you guys can think of for the main deck. Because with links coming out and everything so new, there's not really there's so much you could probably do with this stuff. I just thought to myself it'd be cool just to make a monster beat out of it, essentially for what we have, because there's not a set archetype right now. And it works better than I thought it was. For the extra deck, I am playing 1 Seraph Knight, 1 Gachi, 1 Herald of Pure Light in case I need to recycle something. It doesn't happen often, but it is there in case I need it. Because you could have like dead vanillas and stuff that you'd rather have in the deck for like Venus or Draconet. So you could also add back cards that you need from your grave and send that other one back and summon it back out. So it doesn't happen often, but the option is there. Play 1 Acid Golem, 1 Wind Up Zen Mines, 1 Break Sword, 1 Nightmare Shark, 1 Levier, 1 Grand Pulse, and that's about it for the monsters that are not links. And then for the links, I figured I'd put these separate because they're kind of important. Right now I'm testing 2 of each. The first one is Link Spider. Link Spider, probably, I would say, out of the 3 we have, is the second best. I do not per se like Honeybot, but I definitely feel like you still need to play at least 1 to 2 because it does come up a lot where it needs to extend your plays for you. But I would say this card right here, being it has many vanillas as you play, including the tokens from the Gofu, I definitely feel like this is your main combo initiator, and it's really important. So play 2 of him, play 2 Honeybot, because like I said, unfortunately, you do need this card to extend your plays so you can make a bigger board. Most of the time, if you need to make Gachi on top of the decoder, then you have to make the Honeybot. There's no way around it, sadly. So, I mean, 1900 plus the boost from Gachi Gachi, it makes it at least a body in general, but it's not the body that you'd want. It's there because you have to, essentially. And the reason and it sounds like I'm talking about this card, and I really am, but I still play 2 because if I have 1, but I'm playing multiples of the other, then I'm not gonna be able to do that same combo again. So I'm playing 2 just for the sake of being able to do it more than once.
Honeybot's not the hero we need. And it's not the hero we deserve. It's not even the one that we want.
But it's,
but it's a hero.
But it's the one that we have. I would say the best card for the extra deck is the Decoder. Now, this card's good, but you need other cards with it, because by himself, not being able to be targeted isn't that big of a deal. Being able to negate stuff that target, it does make your opponent think more, but it's not game ending. It's not going to cause single-handedly win you the game. Now, granted, things backing like that up with either Ghost Ogres or Ashes or some sort of hand trap or a strike or some sort of back row with this card does become a problem, because then they have to answer both the back row, which you can just negate, or you can stop what they're going to answer your decoder with one of the other hand traps. But by himself, he's not all that strong, honestly. He is good because he gets huge. If you have Gachi Gachi on board and you have your full board, like your normal combo, then you have him at like 3700. So a 3700 monster that can negate stuff more than once. It's good. It's very good. But like I said, it would make it better if it's any card effect, not just cards that target your cards.
Especially since we have so much board clearing in right now. We got double Kaiju Slumbers, double Dark Hole, Regeki, Torrential. If anybody wanted to be bad, they could do like Lightning Vortex.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much ways to get it around the cards right now. It's insane. But that's pretty much it. End of the deck profile. Honestly, like I said, definitely let us know what ideas you came up with for links, because it's being so new. This is like one of the few times in the year that you will actually be able to be super innovative with your decks, because no one knows what's going on right now. So if you want to make like some jank stuff, go ahead, because other people are probably going to do it as well. Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, is normally pretty archetype based. Right now, like I said, I would definitely love to hear you guys' ideas, because there's probably a lot of crazy stuff you can do with the Cyberse monsters. And thanks for watching, everybody, today. And like I said, just definitely let us know, and like, comment, and subscribe.